There is a reason the most powerful transformations in a man's life happen in silence, not in celebration, not in public, not in the eyes of others, but in the deep, unseen hours when the world believes he is sleeping. What grows in darkness becomes unstoppable in daylight. You have spoken of change, perhaps even begged for it, yet each morning you have awakened feeling strangely identical to yesterday. The reason is simple. You have been trying to rebuild your life with a mind that still carries the scars of the past. True change cannot begin until the subconscious is rewritten, and the subconscious listens best when you are unconscious. For the next 7 nights, you will enter a process most men will never experience. And I give you this one command before you begin. Tell no one. Keep your results sacred. Keep your progress hidden. Keep the transformation in your heart until it is undeniable. A seed grows best when no one is digging in the soil to check if it is alive. Let me tell you a quiet truth the crowd never hears. When you announce your desire too soon, the world steals its strength. When you speak of your dream while it is still forming, you expose it to doubt, your own and everyone else's. That is why the greatest changes begin in secrecy. They require privacy, protection, and the solitude of the night. Think of your life as it is today, the battles you fight, the anxieties that follow you into the early hours, the feeling that no matter what you do, something unseen keeps pulling you back. That something unseen is your subconscious story, repeating itself without your permission. And unless you teach it a new story, your life will follow the old one. This is why the next 7 nights matter more than the next 7 months. In these nights, your conscious resistance will fall away. Your defenses will soften. The part of you that argues, doubts, reasons, and fears will grow quiet. Into that silence, we will speak new laws, new commands, new identity. Most men try to change themselves while awake and fail. You will change while dreaming, and dream changes last. But let me warn you, secrecy is part of the law. If you speak too soon, if you share the shift before it stabilizes, if you expose what is fragile to the opinions of the mediocre, the transformation will lose its fire. Do not allow anyone to touch your becoming. Ask yourself this: when was the last time you kept something for yourself, truly for yourself, not to hide, but to protect, not to conceal, but to strengthen? Men forget that the most powerful victories are formed behind closed doors. Tonight you will begin a silent covenant with your subconscious. For 7 nights you will feed it only strength, only faith, only purpose, only abundance. You will give it no room for fear, no soil for doubt, no echo of yesterday's limitations. You will allow these words to reach depths you cannot reach while awake. Imagine waking with a calm you cannot explain. Imagine decisions flowing without hesitation. Imagine a confidence rising in you without effort. Imagine looking at your life and feeling the shift before you understand how it happened. These are the signs that your subconscious has begun to obey you. But no one must know. They will see the changes soon enough, and they will call it luck, coincidence, or a phase. Let them guess. Let them wonder. Let them invent stories. The truth belongs only to you. There is a special power in withholding your transformation until it becomes undeniable. A man becomes formidable when his growth is internal long before it becomes external. He does not seek validation. He does not ask for approval. He walks with an inner certainty no one can disturb. Tonight the work begins, but listen closely. The subconscious does not respond to half-hearted attempts. It does not bend for the curious. It bends for the committed. If you listen with drifting thoughts, nothing will happen. If you treat this as background sound, you will wake tomorrow unchanged. But if you surrender to these nights, if you allow the words to seep into your being, your life will shift beneath your feet. Think of the next 7 days as a quiet revolution. No announcements, no declarations, no public vows, only obedience, only repetition, only faith delivered to the deepest chamber of your mind. You will discover that change born in secret is the strongest form of change. It is free from ridicule, free from interruption, free from doubt. It grows roots before it grows branches. It becomes stable before it becomes visible. And when the results appear, and they will, you will remember this moment, the decision to transform quietly. So lie down, close your eyes, let the weight of the day dissolve. Allow these words to guide you into the inner world where your life is truly built. For 7 nights, you will not chase transformation. You will absorb it. Tell no one. Let the results speak louder than your explanations ever could. Every transformation that endures begins in silence. Every lasting change begins unseen. The seed grows its roots beneath the soil long before the flower ever meets the light. So it is with the mind of man. The soil of your subconscious is sacred ground. It will grow anything you plant and protect in faith. But it requires darkness, it requires privacy, and it requires patience. The loud talker, the bragger of intentions, is like the farmer who digs up his seed each day to prove it still exists. He kills it through curiosity and exposure. When a man begins the work of inner change, he must do so in secrecy. There is a reason the Almighty performs his greatest works in silence. The tide shifts without a sound. The stars move without announcement. The sun rises without permission. Nature herself reveals the wisdom of hidden growth. To become a master of your destiny, you must learn to imitate her ways. The subconscious mind is a mysterious field, fertile, obedient, and exact. It does not question the quality of the seed. It simply multiplies whatever is placed within it. Fear planted becomes more fear. Faith planted becomes more faith. But the one law it will never break is this: the seed must remain underground until its roots are strong enough to bear exposure. The man who exposes his purpose too soon invites failure before the harvest. I call this law the law of the hidden seed, and it is one of the oldest truths of power. You are not to share your growth until the roots are firm, until the stalk can withstand the weight of the fruit. For if you share too soon, the wind of doubt will uproot it. This is why I tell you, keep your transformation private. Do not discuss it with the idle or the indifferent. Let it live in the night until it is strong enough to face the day. Faith, in its purest form, is the inner germination, the silent process by which belief matures into conviction. Faith is not noise, it is nourishment. It feeds the seed within your subconscious until it becomes part of your nature. Each repetition of your purpose is a drop of water. Each thought of gratitude is a ray of sunlight. The subconscious never forgets what is repeated with emotion. Speak your new identity inwardly until it becomes your truth. Then remain silent. Look to the life of Andrew Carnegie, whose empire began not with a proclamation but with a whisper of resolve. While other men talked of opportunity, he planned quietly, listening to the rhythm of his own certainty. He drafted his future in silence, each day watering his vision with faith. When at last he moved with the force of inevitability. The world saw only the fruit. No one saw the roots that had grown in secret. The same law governed Thomas Edison, who spent endless nights in solitude, staring at the darkness and asking questions that had no immediate answer. His neighbors called him foolish. His peers mocked him. But Edison never argued. He guarded his work like a sacred seed. When at last the light bulb burned bright, the world applauded. They did not know that thousands of invisible failures had prepared that success. Silence was his ally. Patience was his tool. You must learn to emulate this hidden persistence. Do not speak of your aim until it breathes on its own. Every time you describe your vision, you lose part of its vitality. Words are gates. Once opened too often, the energy escapes. When the time is right, your results will announce themselves with greater authority than speech ever could. Until then, let your silence serve as the womb of creation. There is a garden within you. Each thought is a seed. Each emotion is rain or drought. When you share your vision prematurely, you expose the soil to scavengers, opinions, criticisms, envy. Protect your garden. Do not explain it to the untrained eye, for they will trample what they cannot understand. A wise farmer plants in solitude and reaps in abundance. Write your definite aim upon paper. Place it where only you can see it. Read it twice daily, morning and night, but speak it to no one. Let it be your private covenant with yourself and with the infinite intelligence that watches in silence. The subconscious obeys the law of secrecy. What is kept sacred gains strength. Remember always, talking about progress is not progress. To speak of your purpose is to give away fragments of your conviction. Keep your energy compressed within, for compression multiplies power. Like steam confined within a boiler, it gains force. Release it through speech, and it becomes vapor. Contain it, and it can move engines. Repeat silently this affirmation before rest. My growth is my secret. My silence is my strength. What is forming within me shall one day astonish the world. Say it not as poetry, but as command. Feel its truth. The subconscious does not respond to verse, it responds to emotion. Believe these words as you would believe the rising of the sun. There will come nights when you will wish to speak of your progress, when the excitement of discovery urges you to share. Resist it. Let the fire build pressure beneath the surface. Containment is part of creation. The fruit that ripens slowly tastes sweeter and endures longer. You will notice as the nights pass that something begins to shift within you. You will think more clearly, stand more upright, move with greater assurance. Others will sense it too. They will see confidence in your eyes and composure in your bearing, though they cannot name its source. Let them wonder. Their curiosity is proof that the seed has taken root. Understand this also. Silence is not inaction, it is preparation. While you appear still to others, the subconscious is busy reshaping your inner world. Each repetition of your purpose carves new channels through which power will later flow. The man who controls his tongue begins to control his fate. When I first began my own work, I was instructed by Andrew Carnegie himself to guard my plans as a banker guards gold. The moment you speak of your aim, he told me, you invite thieves of discouragement to rob you. I learned early that energy must be invested, not broadcast. Every word spoken without purpose diminishes the charge of belief. The crowd will never understand this principle. They mistake noise for achievement. They confuse motion with progress. They rush to announce every thought and then wonder why nothing endures. But you must live by a higher law. The master builder works unseen until the foundation is strong enough to bear weight. Faith requires daily watering. It is not a single act, but a continuous practice. Each night, repeat your purpose inwardly. Imagine it growing in the dark. See its roots spreading, its strength increasing. Know that infinite intelligence nourishes it beneath the surface. Do not measure progress by outward signs. Trust the law. The seed does not reveal growth until the time is right. In due season, your results will appear, and they will be undeniable. Others will ask, when did you change? How did you accomplish this? Smile, but answer not. Let the work speak for itself. Silence is the most eloquent testimony of mastery. Each time you resist the temptation to share, you prove to yourself that your faith no longer needs approval. You free yourself from the craving for validation. That freedom marks the beginning of power. The man who can remain silent about his purpose has already conquered half the battle of achievement. Consider the tree in winter. It appears lifeless, yet beneath the frost, life moves with perfect rhythm. The sap flows unseen, the roots stretch deeper. When spring arrives, the buds appear suddenly, though their growth was long prepared. Your own progress will follow this same pattern. Those who judged you stagnant will marvel at your speed, never realizing how long you labored in the dark. Do not envy those who display early blossoms. Many flowers bloom fast and die faster. Lasting greatness matures slowly, fed by invisible roots. Let your time in silence be long and patient. When your moment comes, it will endure because it was built unseen. Understand this, too. Secrecy is not isolation. You are not alone in this process. Infinite intelligence, the creative force that governs all order, responds most powerfully to quiet conviction. When you stop announcing your desires to men, you begin conversing with the infinite. Faith whispers where noise cannot enter. If you would become a man of influence, cultivate this habit. Speak little of your intentions, but think deeply of their fulfillment. Let your mind replay your aim as naturally as breathing. When a doubt arises, replace it instantly with an image of completion. The subconscious, loyal and tireless, will take your images as instruction. Do not fear delay. Every period of silence is a season of strengthening. The seed's first task is not to reach upward, but to dig downward. It must find stability before visibility. So must you. If progress seems slow, know that the roots are expanding beneath. There is dignity in quiet preparation. Let the world chatter while you build in peace. Let others seek praise while you gather power. The noise of the crowd is for the uncertain. The silence of labor belongs to the sure. Each night when you close your eyes, picture your purpose as a glowing seed resting in rich soil. See yourself watering it with faith. Whisper to it the promise of future harvest. Feel gratitude as though the fruit were already yours. This is the way of the hidden seed. Soon your subconscious will accept this practice as law. You will find your thoughts aligning naturally with success. You will act decisively without hesitation. You will radiate calm where you once trembled. Others will sense it, but they will not know its cause. That is as it should be. Your inner world is sacred territory. Treat it as holy ground. Do not allow idle conversation or the opinions of small minds to tread upon it. Every idea you guard becomes a living thing, fed by your attention, strengthened by your belief, protected until it can stand the winds of the world. From this night forward, you must regard your silence as your workshop. Every thought is a tool, every emotion a chisel shaping the stone of destiny. Do not rush the carving. Great monuments are formed by patient hands. You are beginning the most vital phase of your growth, the unseen. Those who will one day admire your achievements will never know these hours of quiet cultivation. But you will remember them, and they will give meaning to your triumph. Repeat again, and let it sink beyond thought. My growth is my secret. My silence is my strength. What is forming within me shall one day astonish the world. Now keep it there. Do not explain it. Do not seek proof. Simply let it be. The seed has been planted. The soil has accepted it. Infinite intelligence has begun its work. Rest in faith, for what grows in darkness becomes unstoppable in daylight. There comes a moment in every man's ascent when his greatest enemy is not opposition, but exposure. A dream can die not because it lacks strength, but because it is spoken before it has matured. The air of the world is filled with doubt, and every time you open your mouth to explain your purpose, you invite that doubt to enter. The tongue is a leak through which faith escapes. You must learn the discipline of withholding, to keep power compressed within, to hold your intention so tightly that it glows like a hidden furnace. The mind is a chamber of heat and pressure. Within it, ideas are molten metal, capable of being forged into tools of achievement, but only if contained. A furnace that is constantly opened cannot sustain temperature. It cools, it sputters, it dies. So it is with purpose. The more you open the door of speech, the faster the heat dissipates. Containment is not cowardice, it is craftsmanship. When I studied the habits of men who rose from obscurity to dominion, I found they shared a single trait. They spoke little and built much. Henry Ford was such a man. While others debated, he constructed. He seldom revealed his plans until they had already taken shape in steel and machinery. Those around him often misunderstood him. Some even mocked him for his silence. But Ford knew that every word spent in explanation is energy stolen from execution. And you must understand that silence is a shield for your belief. Each time you proclaim your aim prematurely, you surrender a portion of its strength. The law of energy is simple. What is released cannot be recalled. The current of your will must be directed inward until it reaches critical intensity. Then, and only then, should you act. This I call the law of contained power. The greater the pressure, the greater the force when released. The universe itself operates under this law. The seed waits under soil. The thundercloud gathers energy in silence. The volcano stores its fire in the heart of stone. When release comes, it is irresistible. Be like nature, slow to speak, relentless to act. Most men are weak not because they lack desire, but because they cannot contain it. They talk themselves into exhaustion. They declare their intentions, seeking validation, and the applause of others becomes their reward. Thus, they never receive the true reward of accomplishment. The secret dreamer, on the other hand, works while the world sleeps. He gathers his energy in private, directing it toward a single definite purpose. I once knew a man who spent years in poverty, though he was rich in ideas. His failure was not from lack of ability, but from his need to be understood. Every time a new idea visited him, he ran to others for approval. "Do you think it will work?" he would ask. They would laugh, and his faith would shrink. He would abandon the idea before it could root. His wealth leaked out through words. Compare him to the miner who keeps his discovery quiet until the claim is secured. There is an old story of such a miner who uncovered a shining vein of gold in a lonely canyon. In excitement, he ran to the town and boasted of his find. When he returned, the claim was already taken, the vein already stripped. He had lost his fortune through his tongue. So it is with dreams. Speak of them too soon, and the world takes what you have not yet secured. The discipline of withholding must become your nightly vow. Before you sleep, review your vision in silence. Seal it with gratitude. Say within yourself, "What I build within, I keep within, until it is strong enough to stand." This is the ritual of the wise. Gratitude closes the door of anxiety, and secrecy seals the chamber of power. When you practice this, you will begin to feel a strange pressure building inside you, a heat, a pulse, an inner readiness. That is power being distilled. It is belief compressing into conviction. It is willpower being refined into destiny. Do not mistake that pressure for discomfort. It is creation. Persistence, when seen in this light, is no longer struggle. It is silent continuation. It is the art of carrying the fire quietly through doubt and delay. There will be days when nothing seems to move, when silence feels like stagnation. But I tell you this truth: no silence is wasted that is filled with purpose. The root works unseen while the leaf appears lifeless. Those who cannot endure quiet will never harvest greatness. Consider again Henry Ford, whose factory dreams were ridiculed by investors. He could have spent his time convincing others of his vision. Instead, he worked alone, collecting parts, perfecting designs, failing in secret until he succeeded in strength. When at last his machine roared to life, the world was forced to listen. His silence became his trumpet. There is more dignity in quiet labor than in 1,000 speeches of intention. Action is the language of faith. Talk belongs to the uncertain. The man who must explain himself has not yet believed in himself. When your belief becomes absolute, words become unnecessary. I tell you another truth. When you speak of your goals, you create witnesses, and witnesses expect progress. If delay occurs, they begin to doubt you. Their doubt infects your own subconscious. Thus begins the slow erosion of faith. Better to have no witnesses at all than to have the wrong ones. Every word you speak about your purpose writes itself upon the mind of another. Some will envy, others will criticize, still others will secretly hope for your failure, for it justifies their own stagnation. Do not feed them with your revelation. Let them discover your success only when it can no longer be denied. Learn from nature. The most powerful forces move without sound. The roots of mountains shift in silence. The currents of the ocean reshape continents unheard. The stars cross the heavens wordlessly. Why then should you announce what the universe itself conceals? The crowd confuses noise with importance, but the wise know that importance requires no noise. The hammer that builds a palace sounds louder than the mind that designs it, yet the palace would not exist without the silent mind. Be that silent designer. Each night, as you lay your head upon the pillow, imagine your aim sealed behind the vault of your mind. Picture it glowing with potential energy, waiting for its appointed hour. Feel gratitude for its certainty, not its appearance. Whisper to it, "You are safe within me. Grow strong and steady. I will not expose you until you are ready." Then sleep with that vow. Over time, this practice will change your very expression. You will walk with quiet assurance. Your eyes will hold an unreadable depth. Others will sense something resolute in your presence, an energy that needs no explanation. They will not know it, but they are responding to your withheld fire. To speak less is to command more. Those who leak their energy through endless conversation are easily forgotten. The man who speaks sparingly is remembered, for each word carries weight. Power gathers in restraint. When Carnegie was still a clerk, he kept his plans for the steel empire entirely to himself. Men in his company dismissed him as ordinary. Years later, they worked under him. They saw only the visible success. They never saw the furnace of silence that forged it. You must become that furnace. Do not confuse secrecy with fear. The coward hides from the world because he doubts his worth. The wise man withholds because he respects his vision. One hides from ridicule, the other guards from theft. Silence born of faith is strength. Silence born of fear is paralysis. Know the difference. It will be tempting to measure your progress by the reactions of others. Resist this. When you do not announce your growth, there is nothing to measure but your own consistency. You will learn patience, and patience will make you unbreakable. Remember that a king does not seek applause while planning conquest. He sits in council with himself, mapping victory long before the trumpet sounds. So must you govern your empire of thought. Decide in silence, prepare in silence, and execute in silence. The noise of victory will come in its season. Each repetition of your purpose builds pressure within your subconscious. The more you rehearse it quietly, the denser your conviction becomes. I have called this spiritual compression. Like steam confined in a chamber, it becomes force when directed. Without containment, it disperses into nothing. In time, this compression will express itself outwardly. You will act without hesitation. You will move with confidence that surprises even you. The people around you will notice the change, but will find no words for it. Some will admire you, others will envy you, all will feel your magnetism. That is the sign that your inner fire has become outward authority. You may find that silence isolates you from those who thrive on talk. Let them go. The path of mastery is narrow and often solitary. The noise of the crowd cannot follow you into higher ground. But fear not. What you lose in company, you gain in power. Solitude refines faith. Every moment you remain faithful to secrecy, you strengthen your inner bond with infinite intelligence. For the infinite speaks only in whispers. It avoids the ears of the careless and meets the listener in stillness. The man who cannot be quiet cannot hear guidance. Keep your silence not only to protect your ideas, but to make room for inspiration. Before you sleep tonight, repeat this simple practice. Sit in silence, picture your aim clearly, and surround it with gratitude. Say within, My dream grows stronger in silence. My conviction multiplies in secrecy. I trust the law of contained power. Then release all thought and rest. Over the coming nights, you will begin to feel an invisible current forming between your inner purpose and the events of the outer world. You will meet the right people, stumble upon timely opportunities, or awaken with new ideas. Do not rush to explain these things. The moment you share them, the thread weakens. Keep them close until they have matured. Others will see your calm and call it luck. They will see your progress and call it coincidence. Let them. Their words are leaves. Your silence is the root. The leaf may flutter in wind, but the root endures through storm. Know this: the world does not need your explanations. It needs your example. Speak through results, not rhetoric. The silent worker commands more respect than the loud dreamer. When your achievements stand, even your silence will echo louder than their words. There will be times when silence feels heavy, when you long to share your vision for reassurance. But reassurance sought is faith lost. Trust yourself. The universe favors the man who needs no audience. The discipline of withholding is a test of mastery. It demands restraint, patience, and faith beyond sight. But those who pass it become unshakable. They act with the quiet authority of inevitability. Repeat often to yourself, I do not announce my aim, I embody it. I do not explain my faith, I express it. I do not chase recognition, I attract it. When you live by these words, you will move differently. You will speak less, achieve more, and command the respect of all who cross your path. Keep your fire contained, keep your dreams sealed, let it burn until it becomes light. For when it finally shines, the world will not ask when you began. It will ask how you became so powerful. And your only answer will be the truth. I learned to stay silent until the work was done. There is a law more mysterious and more powerful than all others I have taught. It governs the silent hours when the world believes you are sleeping. In those hours, your body rests, but your mind continues its labor. While your eyes are closed, your deeper self begins the reconstruction of your destiny. Most men waste these hours. They drift into unconsciousness without purpose, and the subconscious, left without command, wanders through confusion, fear, and old memories. But the man who understands the law of the night becomes the master builder of his own fate. The night is not the absence of activity. It is the arena of invisible work. When you lie down, you enter the sacred chamber of renewal. The conscious mind, that restless governor, finally grows quiet. The arguments, the doubts, the calculations all fall away, and what remains is the purest workshop of the soul,